please introduce yourself for us?
Brian Bullard.
Brian. Well, Brian, I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
First question is, how long have you been taking photography?
I would since I was 17 years old, so it'll be 1987.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time.
Yourself for us?
My name is Jenny Kavanaugh.
Jenny, I have a few questions for you, Jenny.
Okay.
First question, how long have you been doing photography?
Oh gosh, probably since 1989. I took some black and white photography classes and color photography classes for my journalism degree from New Mexico State University, and I graduated in 1990, so I just dated myself. So a long time.
That's good. Yourself for us?
My name is Daryl Beecham.
Daryl, I have a few questions for you. My first question for you, how long have you been shooting photography?
I first started shooting pictures junior high school, probably in the late 60s. I've been shooting ever since.
Yourself for us?
Hi, my name is Gina Maria Bullard.
Gina, I have a few questions for you. My first question, how long have you been shooting photography?
I've been shooting since my children were about 2 years old, so that was back in 1990 probably.
Okay, that's
Andrew, my name is Jim Harris. I'm the director of the Lee County Museum up in Lovington, New Mexico. Some people think of that as a long way up there. It's only like 20 miles from here.
Well, let me ask you, Jim, how long have you been taking photography?
Andrew, I've been taking photographs since I was in elementary school, and I don't even want to give you the year that was because it was way before you were born. But anyway, I started out with a Kodak Brownie, and it's a little tiny, very inexpensive camera, and I've been taking photographs then. I enjoyed it then. I still enjoy it now, even though I have a lot of other things to do up at the Lee County Museum. I still enjoy taking photographs. Fact is, a lot of the things I do at the Lee County Museum involve photographs. I have art openings like we're having tonight here for the photography show. But other things, I do a column in the Lovington Leader each week. I've been doing that for the Lovington paper for 556 times this week. But so photographs go along and accompany the essays that are history and folklore oriented, and so I take a lot of photographs still, and still enjoying it just like I did when I was in elementary school.
What inspires me? I would say nature inspires me. In fact, that's why I really haven't done anything with my photography until 2006 when I got into hiking and caving. That's when it all came together for me with photography, and that's what has inspired me to keep going is just the nature and the beauty of nature, and to capture that and to share it with people.
Annie Leibovitz, I love her portrait work and her use of light. I love her Rolling Stone pictures from when she first started. I'm into the classics as well. Henri Cartier-Bresson, the French photographer, also Robert Doisneau. He'd walk around the streets of Paris and just take pictures of just slice of life. And as you can see, some of my photography really embodies a lot of that. I'm also a huge fan of Ansel Adams, especially his work in New Mexico early on at Mabel Dodge Lujan's house, where he stayed and took the pictures of the aspens. You know, these are the kinds of things that I study. I check out the books and I look at them, and then I just grab my camera and I want to go recreate everything, and then make some new ones of my own.
What drives you?
Well, I think I was first inspired by seeing a black and white image come up in a developer tray. When you take a picture with black and white film and then process it and put it in a larger and make that print and watch it develop, that creation was what got me inspired. And then I got involved with guys like Ansel Adams and and the famous photographers from Life magazine, and those guys all inspired me. So it was a wonderful opportunity to look at. When I was growing up taking pictures, a lot of film being taken back then before the days of digital.
Yes, Ansel Adams is one of my all-time favorites. I have books and like study them, and I'm like, wow, I wish I could be like that someday. But I don't know. Maybe I'll be 80 years old by the time I'm that good. But he's amazing.
You know, I have a lot of heroes in photography, and of course, as with everyone else, I'm a great Ansel Adams fan. And so he's the guy who really inspired me to do some different kind of photographs than I had done, say, when I was in elementary school. But, you know, I have some photographers that I really look up to today, like there's a young man, Tim Keller is his name. I'd say young man, that's relatively speaking, he's older than you are, Andrew. But anyway, he's a guy who's a great photographer here in New Mexico right now. He's going to be doing a photographic show for us, an exhibit that begins August 9th. And Tim Keller is, you know, he's a real interesting individual and a great photographer, shooting photographs for magazines like New Mexico Magazine today.
Pretty much New Mexico. I've been really inspired growing up in the state, and just seeing the light is so amazing here, and it makes you want to grab your camera and just photograph what you're seeing. But I have lots of different influences, so it just depends. It depends on where the wind takes me some days.
Point for your artwork.
You know, I said in my statement that I made that we have over here with the photographs that photographs ought to tell a story, and I'm always thinking in those terms. I worked for a short period of time, like 6 months, as a photojournalist for the Hobbs News-Sun, and I think, you know, I felt real comfortable doing that. Your photographs in a newspaper newspaper or magazine ought to tell some kind of story that relates to the story you're telling with words. And I think that's true for me for all my photographs, even landscapes. I think like the one that's over to the right of my shoulder here. I still think, even in terms of landscape photographs, that there's a story involved in there, and I think I'm a storyteller, whether it's with words or with images.
More than others?
You know, yeah, I guess first is foremost is landscape, because that's what I started with, and for me it's my alone time out in nature alone, and just with the landscape, with the creator. But I did get into wedding photography, did get into still life photography. Teaching at the college, it kind of made me learn other than landscape, like weddings and people photography and still life, and really I've broken off into those different fields, and that's what's so great about photography is to stretch yourself and to try all those different ones. And I found that I really like still life photography, even though I don't have anything shown here, but it's becoming one of my passions also.
Are there certain locations that are your favorite, which you prefer to shoot at more than others?
More than once?
Or more than others? Like,
I like the Guadalupe Mountains for me. It's an hour and a half from here. That's kind of my playground. And I've been to certain locations more than 20 times looking for that nice sunset. It's waiting and waiting for that perfect shot. So yeah, I would say the Guadalupe Mountains I've gone quite a bit. Some of these locations I don't get a chance to go to again, like Hawaii. Been there once, so it's the first time. If it's not right then, it's just not going to be right. So it's just kind of luck of the draw sometimes.
okay. You like to photograph?
My main interest in photography has changed over the years. I shot so many portraits and weddings and people over the years that in the last 10 or so years, I've shied away from those and don't do as many images with people in them. I tend to like landscapes, buildings, more quiet, serene scenes, things like that.
Is when you shoot.
My area of focus is trying to catch the portraits in action, like trying to catch them what they're thinking, so I can tell a story. That's what my main focus is. Yes, most definitely. I would love to do that. You know, get my name out there, get the word out in photography, and so that more people can come and enjoy it.
Fantastic. I appreciate it, Gina.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, absolutely. This has been a fun show. If I do, I'm going to have to kind of step up my game because some of these other photographers like Jenny and Brian are just overachievers, you know. So they make a guy like me, a film shooter, and make me look bad, you know. So no, I'd be glad to come back and do it. So it's a great place, and you know, it's one of these places in Hobbs that people need to take more advantage of.
We appreciate it, Daryl. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, of course. I feel really supported by the Center for the Arts. I've had a couple of shows here, and I've received great support. Always have a great time, and I believe that showing my art here has furthered my career as a art photographer. So yes, definitely.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Top notch in Hobbs. It always has been. The way you guys hung all this, the crowds that we had, it's just top notch. So I would definitely love to come back and do this again.
Glad to hear it, Brian. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Oh, this is a fabulous place, the Center for the Arts, and it's a real honor for me to be here. And I was here in Hobbs long enough ago to remember that we didn't have a place like this, and it makes me real proud to be here in Hobbs, having the Center for the Arts here. And I'm real thankful that it's here. I'm thankful that you're here now, the director of the Center for the Arts, and I'm especially thankful to the J.F. Maddox Foundation and all the people who contributed to putting this place on. You know, Hobbs is changing, Lee County is changing now, and I think for the better. And so many individuals and organizations, businesses and individuals have helped to make that possible. It's a real exciting time, and the Center for the Arts is an exciting place to be, and I'm looking forward to coming back here. And if I get invited back for another photo show, that'll make me very happy. I'll be happy also just to be coming back here and see the other great artists and photographers that you're going to have here.
Well, I appreciate it, Jim. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. Enjoyed it.